When you're a coach and you are at a place where you know in your heart, in the deepest part of you, you want to make a difference. You want to make an impact. Because here's the thing, you don't get into coaching, you don't get into helping other people without being heart led, without wanting to make a difference. Because let's be real, it is not just about the money. The whole point for most of us when it comes to actually making money is to understand that it's allowing us to do two things. Number one, it's allowing us to do the things that we love to do, which is to help, which is to serve, which is to lead. But the other side of it simply is to leave a legacy. It's to make a difference. It's to literally create a ripple effect on this planet that goes beyond our life. And so by you deciding to be a coach, you deciding to say, I want to take the plunge into this business and I want to grow it into something that is worthwhile for me, worthwhile for my loved ones, worthwhile for the people I work with, you already deserve the biggest round of applause. So thank you so much for making that decision. My only job today is to show you how much simpler it can be, to show you an easier path. Because here's the thing, to build any business, to build any business worthwhile, because for some of you here, and for many of you, in fact, I'm guessing that 20K is just simply the first benchmark. I'm guessing that 20K month on a consistent basis is just simply the first mark to a bigger empire, a bigger coaching business, a better lifestyle that you want. So understand that what you need to do today, if you're under this mark to go, whether you're at $0 or 5K a month, all the way to 20K a month, it needs to have a different game plan. It needs to have a very different structure. But ultimately, we don't want to just rip everything off, have to start over and go to the next level. We want to make it simple. We want to make it easier. And most important of all, we want to make sure that we can repeat it again and again and again from a place of energetic and mental sustainability. And that's what I want to show you how. So when you're actually deciding what path you want to take and how to get there, okay, there's really 4 key steps that you've got to be thinking about there, okay? Because no matter where you are right now, understand that at the end of the day, when we get to this 20K per month mark, it's not just about simply hitting that as a financial number. It's about hitting that financial number and building an organic system that can start running without you for the long term. So let me show you how that works. So the very first thing we have to understand when it comes to actually finding clients is we have to understand what I call commitment psychology. And when we're talking about this idea of commitment psychology, there's 2 parts of a commitment style, right? One is simply your commitment to the business, right? So when we talk about this idea of building this inside out business, this idea of feeling so damn aligned with what we want to do that ultimately speaking, we got to feel great about it. But there's the other side of the coin because it's hard to lead if you can't get people to lead. So we want to make sure that it's something that you feel very committed to, but also the person you're working with feels really committed to, okay? And how we do that is actually a really simple exercise. So ultimately, we take this very simple graph and there's really 2 parts, right? The first part is this line, okay? And that is the U line. And we're trying to make sure that we find that passion. We find that heart where you feel great, where you want to put your time and energy and you're learning and taking all those experiences and saying, this is what I want to do for people. The other side of it is how your customers give their love for it, which is saying, I want to invest in this. So we're trying to find that perfect match because ultimately you can love it for all you want, but if they're nobody's willing to buy it, then it's really hard. It's going to be a painful, tough road. The other side of it is, yes, you can make money doing this, but if you don't love it, then ultimately it's not sustainable because ultimately it's going to create friction for you that's not going to allow you to want to go to that next level. So we're trying to find this very perfect spot right here. Now, a lot of times people say that you have to niche. I don't think you have to niche. What I think you have to do is understand 3 things. And these are 3 things that you want to be thinking about that you want to help your clients because ultimately you got to fall in love with them to help them get to where they want to go. The first is that you have to really be clear on the problem they have. This is not about who the person is. It's about what problem they are struggling with today, because people buy today. They don't always buy 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now. What they are going through right now in this moment is what they end up wanting to spend money on, especially in this day and age in 2025. The second is that there is a very clear result. A problem is only worth solving if it leads to a result that we truly want to have. And then last but certainly not least, there has to be a very clear feeling that we want the client to experience when they succeed. When you actually put those three things together, what you'll discover is that you'll discover congruency, you'll discover alignment, and what you'll ultimately discover is that you'll build a much, much better message as a result. So ultimately speaking, save your money, save your time. Don't hire a messaging coach. Hire yourself to go through these three things and find out if this is something people want. And the best way to do that is to do what we call test posts. Take any platform. It could be Instagram, it could be Facebook, whatever it is. Take your best one and just start talking about these three things in particular order. You could do one post about your problem, one post about a result, and one post about a feeling, and see how your audience is resonating with it. Put it directly in front of people. But this is how you start to understand that ultimately the fastest path to growing a coaching business to 20K per month is to not try to beat a message, beat a mission into somebody that they don't want. It's to find the balance. It's to find the congruency. It's to find the alignment between what you want to do and what people ultimately want to invest in. That is commitment psychology. And when you understand that as a business, it's going to carry so many of the other challenges that I see many people take. Once you have that figured out, the next thing is that we are not trying to put together just a coaching program. People don't buy coaching just to buy coaching. What they buy is solving their problems and getting to that result. So ultimately, what we're trying to build is not calling it even the coaching program. What we're trying to create is what I call a perceived value program. And when you're talking about this idea of a perceived value, understand that when people buy something, a lot of times, especially as a coach, right, we're not selling cups. We're not selling microphones over here. We're selling something that has almost an invisible product. And that's sometimes the hardest thing to make, sometimes the hardest thing to sell. So it's really key and it's really important when you decide to actually say, I want to get this coaching level to 20K per month. You got to put something out there that people instantly see, that is your ideal audience, that is this problem, result, and feeling. You're like, yes, that is what I need. And how you do that, we've already actually started the process. We're going to take everything from here. We're going to go over here. And step one, or A, is we want to make sure we make a very clear result, transformation, and timeline. When somebody decides actually to buy into a program, we need to make sure it's a result that they absolutely want, a transformation they absolutely want to feel, and in the timeline that quite frankly is faster than maybe what they want to do themselves. Because ultimately speed is the game, especially when it comes to coaching, especially with what the work that we do there. We're taking our experiences, we're taking our passion, right? We're taking everything we've learned and studied, and we're not trying to teach them everything we know. We're trying to give them the shortcut. We're trying to give them the accelerated version to get to where they want to today. And these three things, when you put it together, give somebody the idea, go, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I want. Once we have that, we need to make sure that we are communicating and educating the three problems that they feel is holding them back, that we will solve. A lot of times when we talk about the big result and transformation we want, there are things that we've done, there are things that we've tried, there are things that we've experienced, there are things that, these are people, right? These are clients they're intelligent, they're smart, they're bright. They have tried things on their own, or they've hired other coaches, or they've hired other programs, or they've read the books, right? This is something that people have done. They've done something to see if it works. The value and why they work with us is not because we're going to regurgitate the same thing that they've already tried. It's to give them a different perspective. It's to give them a different thought process. It's to tell them exactly why it didn't work and what's going to work instead. And then last but certainly not least, because we are leaders, we don't just sell them 12 sessions of coaching. We don't say it's just a 3-month program. No, we actually show them an easier method. As experts, as coaches, as people that have gone through all of this, right? It's not our job to get them to know everything. It's our job to make it easier. Doesn't mean it's easy, but we got to make it as easy as we possibly can, and also accelerate, increase the velocity of where they want to go. And when you understand how to put those three together there, because each one of these builds on top of each other, what it allows you to understand is that ultimately at the end of the day, you become a product program led business. And why I'm actually stopping here and want you to hear this is because so many coaches rely on marketing, on sales, on content, on online strategies that they forget that what people buy, they're buying solutions. Almost every other industry that you find that isn't a service-based industry focuses on delivering an incredible customer experience, building the perception of an incredible customer experience. So by focusing so much on what people are going to commit to and also something that they go, dang, that's exactly what I want, what you'll discover is that it lifts and carries a lot of the marketing and sales challenges that you might be facing right now. When you get these two things right, it allows you to go into the game of marketing, the game of sales, into the game of growth, and deliver it so much easier because you already know this is exactly what people are buying. What we're going to do here is we're going to take this. I'm going to shift to my next whiteboard. And to actually grow, right? Because a lot of coaches, there's this heart of a leader. Like we weren't born to be marketers, right? Like we're born to serve people. We're born to lead, right? And so ultimately the difference between being a marketer and difference between a leader is actually how we provide an experience for the person we want to work with. Marketers can write great copy. Marketers can write great funnels. Sure, that's great. But what I found over the years is that clients don't always buy through funnels. What they do buy is incredibly potent experiences. What do I mean by an experience? An experience could be a variety of factors, but what it really is, okay, is it could be a one-on-one meeting. It could be a webinar. It could be an evergreen video. It doesn't really matter, but we've already done the hard work because what we know is we want somebody to understand this is how you get to the result, transformation in the timeline that we want to do. We already know they want that. So let's give them a chance to experience what that would look like. I was at Costco the other day, right? I was pushing my 6-year-old son and, he's enjoying it. But every time we stop by one of the people that is feeding us food, we got to stop because my son wants to taste it, right? He wants to experience it, okay? Now, ultimately, we are doing the exact same thing. If you want to accelerate your income, if you want to accelerate your impact, if you want the velocity of your business to grow to 20K months a whole lot faster, this is the key. This experience and making sure it's so dang good and it exactly meets your person where they are and what they want and exactly is the exact replication of what you're selling makes it a lot easier to get more interested people that are idea clients. And because they're already interested, you're also going to deliver an experience that go, that is exactly what I've needed and that's exactly what I've wanted. So you got to decide how you're going to deliver this. I advise people to do it one-to-one. And I advise people just simply tell them exactly what it is. It's a call. We're going to show you how to get this result with this transformation in this timeline. Then all you have to do is you have to determine where your source of leads are coming in. So if you want to do online, maybe it's Instagram or Facebook, my advice is to pick one source and you're simply inviting people to this experience. And at the end of the experience, what you end up doing there is you're simply making a very real, valuable offer. Now, I know you're looking at this and because I do the same way, especially when I was trying to grow to my first 20K months and you're thinking like, okay, Alex, like you're making it seem so simple. And Alex, I've seen something similar. I've seen other things tried. Why is what you're going to do working way better? Why is that going to work way better than what a lot of people are teaching me? Why not that funnel? Why not that email sequence? Okay. Now I'll explain why. When you're at 0 to 20K, your job is not to think about all the marketing things you have to do. There's definitely a time and place for relationships, but right now you need to get clients. You need a way to get people to sign up with you. And the thing about coaching is that there are so many people out there, and our job is to make sure that we put it in front of more people every single day so we have more people to experience it and more people to sign up. I just want you to know this, generally speaking, this is what I found typically works. Even from it, this is like an average. If you get this all right, this is average. If you invite 25 people, you're probably going to get 5 people interested. Of those 5, you're probably going to get 2 people that are your ideal clients. And then one of them is going to take you up on this offer. So really, for a lot of people, I always tell coaches is like, how quickly can you invite 25 new people to this experience? Could you take you a day, take you a week, take you a month? What I find time and time again when I'm working with somebody is that if you really want to get to that 20K per month there, right? Your whole job is to think about how many people you can invite on a consistent basis and how you can make this experience worthwhile for somebody to come and join. If you do that, the rest of this starts to take care of itself. So, which brings me to the final point. As coaches, I'm like that as well. I don't want to be behind an Excel sheet. I don't want to sit there behind a computer looking at numbers. I don't want to be sitting there looking at softwares, okay? I just want to get out there and talk with people. I want to get out there and converse with people. I want to get out there and help with people. As you know this about yourself, what you'll discover is that to grow a business does not require a focus on everything. It actually focuses on 3 very specific things, which is why at the end of the day, to keep it simpler for us, we have to have very simple metrics. And specifically in this situation, to grow a business, we're going to be focused on 3 very specific metrics, okay? First and foremost is conversations. Now, you'll notice I haven't talked about content, I haven't talked about posting, I haven't talked about stories, I haven't talked about hacking the algorithm, but understand why is that because at the end of the day, a direct relationship accelerates a lot faster than a segmented relationship or a post relationship. Conversations are the key to growth. And this is not even just for 20K per month businesses or 100K per month businesses. This is for $1 million per month coaching businesses. Conversations are vital. So the question is how many conversations with new idea people or simply people in general are you having? The second thing, very simply, is as you can kind of see, it relegates into exactly this model. How many people did you invite? How many people did you invite to that call, right? And because we understand there's fear, we want it to be perfect, we want it to be right. But if you simply said, hey, I'd be honored to sit down with you and show you what it would take for you to go to get to here, to feel this, and to get there in this time frame. Is that of interest to you? And that's the idea of inviting people. We're inviting people so it makes somebody go, yeah, I want to do it. Or no, I'm good, but thank you there. What this does mentally for you there is it allows you to move on to the next person that might be the right ideal person for you. Understand that most people that are growing to 20K per month, and believe me, I understand it, you feel like you only have so many people to reach out to. And so ultimately you're going to hold yourself back. There's so many people out there that are looking for the services. And when you got the right one, there's so many people you will never, never, never go a day without being able to find somebody. And then last, but certainly not least, is how many offers are you making? How many people are you literally saying, I want you to buy this for this amount of rate? What's the amount? And how many are you making per week? Ultimately, at the end of the day, if you start simply measuring these 3 things, what you'll discover is that it'll get you to be really, really focused on spending your 1 to 3 hours per day to do the things that actually accelerate the growth of the business. It's also going to allow you to have more space to coach, more space to work with your ideal client, and ultimately the best piece of all, when you hit that 20K mark, and I want you to feel that, I want you to experience it right now, you are going to feel that person. You're going to feel that success. Just own it right now. Understand, it's going to give you a space to go to your next goal. Because at the end of the day, I know this is just simply the beginning for you. I know this is just first where you want to go. So, with that being said, if you are looking to scale your coaching business 20K per month, if you're looking to get to that level there so you can move on to the next level, and you want us to sit down and show you exactly how we would put that in you, below is a link to hop on with myself and or one of our team members, and we will show you step by step how you're going to be able to do that. How can you actually get yourself to a place where you can start signing more clients, doing it from a place of ease. So ultimately, when you hit that 20K per month mark, you can decide what you want to do next with your business. My name is Alex Kuhn and the founder of Born to Lead. And as I always tell everyone, stay committed.